an operation called PRISM, by which the U.S. intelligence has been mining data from several different internet companies. You know, what's your take on this, on top of what we learned earlier today about Verizon handing over phone data to the NSA?
Well, I think this has been a bad day for government secrecy, because we've learned today about two of the government's best-kept secrets, which is the extent of the Faiza court's orders for phone records of Americans, innocent Americans who we know have absolutely not any connection to criminal or terrorist activity. And then we have this second revelation, which just came out in the Washington Post, that I believe it was nine companies were allowing the NSA and the FBI to link directly into their data streams. And one of the things that you see here is that there's just this proliferation of surveillance programs that the government has put into place, and we don't really know about them. I mean, we only know a little piece of them that comes out every time somebody reveals a secret document.
Well, should we know about them? I mean, if we knew about them, wouldn't they be less effective?
Well, that's right, but there must be some understanding of the extent of the government's authority in this area, right? So we must know, for example, that the government thinks it's all right to collect the phone records of Americans for 6-7 years at a time, just routinely on a daily and ongoing basis. Until today, the document came out, we didn't really know that, did we? And similarly, like, users of a company like Facebook should know that, you know, those communications that they put on their Facebook are being mined in this way by the government.
So in the digital age, what sort of expectations about privacy can we have?
Well, I think your expectation of privacy varies with respect to who you're talking about. So we might
with respect to the government, with respect to the U.S. government, how much privacy can we actually expect to have?
Well, that's something that, you know, we're all struggling with, right? I mean, the technology has moved on. The government has access to all kinds of data, but the law and the courts really haven't caught up. So we're starting to see, you know, really small slivers of this coming up. There was a recent court case which talked about GPS tracking and said, well, you know, GPS tracking for an extended period of time without a warrant is unconstitutional, because you can just really tell too much about what a person is doing. There was a case recently, a couple of years ago in the Sixth Circuit, which held, well, you know, you can't get into somebody's emails without getting a warrant based on probable cause. So you see the courts sort of trying to get at what the reasonable expectation of privacy is in the digital age, but I don't think we actually have a very clear answer quite yet.
So companies like Google, like Facebook, are trying to reestablish trust around some of these privacy issues, but this is obviously going to make it even more difficult for them to do so.
That's right. I mean, many of the major tech companies have joined something it's called the Digital Due Process Coalition, where they work with privacy advocates to push for better and clearer laws that are also protective of the privacy of their customers. But as you said, you know, the fact that you know, they are complying with these Faiza court decisions, and that they are allowing the government the kind of access into their data streams, as was reported by the Post, certainly, you know, raises people's suspicions again.
Is there a solution here? I mean, how do we, you know, is it really just coming to some sort of understanding of what the government does and what the government is capable of? Because this isn't going to stop.
Well, I think there's actually a kind of a simple solution, which is that we shouldn't be collecting information about people unless we have some reason to suspect them of a crime or a terrorist act. I mean, you know, we just simply shouldn't be doing dragnet surveillance.